Hey everyone, we're TowawayCouple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, and I don't listen to bad advice.
We're in Dallas, Texas in a hotel room, a Super 8.
Might as well be.
Actually, the bed's actually more comfortable.
Yeah, the bed is comfortable, but that's about it.
So I donated blood today. And
I didn't.
We didn't. So we recently had a Karen post on us saying that we should only talk about hauling trailers, driving motorhomes, and stop talking about any other useless information because that's not why people are watching us. Hey, we're Tom and Bunny. We do this for fun. We do this as a hobby. We don't make money off of doing this. So if you're looking for a specific channel that only talks about certain things, we're probably not it.
Nope. Because you know what? We are real people and we like to have fun. And we like to show people that we like to have fun and we're real people.
Right. So on our Instagram and our Twitter and in our Towaway Facebook page, you'll see a lot of pictures about us, about how we live our lives, our family, where we're going, our vacations, Jamaica, everywhere under the sun. We do that because we want to humanize ourselves with you, and we're just not throwing out bad advice.
Right, because you know what? We are drivers too. We love driving, and just like everybody else, there's pros and there's cons. And you know what? Might as well have fun in life and have fun while you're driving.
Did you get my little innuendo?
I did get your little innuendo.
So today's video is about
bad advice.
Bad advice. So what we mean by this is we've been driving now for almost 2 years. And we have been seeing this whole time a lot of what we would consider bad advice, but we never jumped on stuff. We just let it go. We're not your mom and dad. We honestly don't care how you do things. We're not gonna rat you out. We're not gonna do anything, but there is such a thing as being successful in this and not being around tomorrow doing this, depending on what advice you want to take.
Exactly, because you know what, these are just, they're trailers, they're motorhomes, they are just something that are monetary value. They're not your life.
No.
And your life is more important than getting that to the dealer within the next day.
Being able to pull another trailer the next day is more important.
Right, and you know what? I am really sure that the dealership would more appreciate them getting that even at a later time and getting it not at all.
Right. So one of the things that we see a lot of, and we wanted to just touch base on, is some people do not go through weigh stations at all.
Nope.
And
we see it.
We see it.
We see it. Personally, we see it. You know, we're not going to call people out, but yeah, you see it all the time.
Right. So while, at least on the company, I actually sent our company an email, and I said, are we required to go through weigh stations? The reply I got back was, under dispatch, under our load, yes, we are required to go through each and every weigh station. On our way back empty, we are not required to. So I'm gonna take my company's advice, but there's a lot of people that blow weigh stations, and we kind of just saw one the other day, and what happened to that guy?
He actually blew the weigh station in New Mexico.
Well, he didn't quite blow it, he didn't get his permit there.
No. But you still have to weigh to get your permit.
Right.
You gotta weigh through, then they hold up the little sign, and then you gotta get your permit.
So we saw him pull through we pulled through the scale. Nobody was in the office, so we went ahead and pulled off. We walked in, and we asked the guy in the office, because we saw another transporter go by without pulling off and just went right back on the freeway. And I asked him, I said, hey, just out of curiosity, there was nobody in there that held up a sign saying, please come inside. And Bunny saw a sign outside that said, continue on. Continue on. So I asked him, I said, what's the protocol on that? And he says, well, you are required to get a permit. And I said, well, with no one in there, I didn't know if you guys were open or closed. He goes, New Mexico, we're always open. and no matter if someone's in that seat at the scale or not, you still have to come in and get your permit. I said, well, okay, what's the damages if someone does that? He says it's a $157 fine. The $29 permit we are buying now becomes $157.
Yes, another $157.
Huh?
Yes, $157 twice.
Twice. So one's a fine, and now your permit's $157. He straight up said, he goes, your company's not going to reimburse $157, and they're probably going to be pretty pissed that you got the fine and that type of permit. And then he goes, if you happen to get pulled over, he can guarantee you a level 2 inspection, and he can guarantee violations. He said they will find violations. He goes, for $29, for the love of God, just come inside and get the permit. And I said, okay. Well, he goes, you guys did the right thing and everything. I said, no, I understand. We almost didn't know. But we saw them in there, so we thought, we'll go see if the door's locked or not.
Right, and every time we've gone through New Mexico, they've always been open, even on Thanksgiving night.
Now, we see people that will argue back and forth on Facebook because somebody says they got a $1,000 fine, someone will call BS on it. You know what? It is what it is. If someone says they got a $1,000 fine, I'm going to believe that person, because why would he put on Facebook?
Why would he admit it? Yeah.
That's like saying, I went out and got a DUI.
But and it all depends on the officer.
It all depends on the officer. So, Arizona, we come up to the scales, and we go through the scales, and as we exit the scales, we already had our permits, so we were good on that. So we got them online. Some people say you can't get them online. Yes, you can.
And it happened to be a Sunday, so we didn't know if they were going to be open or closed, because Arizona on Interstate 40 is hit or miss on whether they're open or not. So we went ahead and got ours.
Right. And we're going to do an Arizona permit video next. As we pull onto the freeway, we see a transporter about 5 miles up pulled over, and I'm like, and you saw him blow the scale.
Yep.
So I didn't see him blow the scale. Bunny saw him blow the scale because we were waiting in a long line. This guy goes right by, he gets pulled over. The outcome of that, I have no idea. We never found out or anything.
Nope.
We ended up seeing him passing us down the road, so apparently they didn't put him out of service.
But lo and behold, it was the same driver who drove right on past through New Mexico too.
Right, so we won't call it the company or the driver. We just happen to notice that. Some people would say, mind your own business. You know, it is part of our business, because that driver could piss off another DOT officer, and now he's going to target every transporter.
Right, and you know, the whole thing with this is we're seeing a lot on Facebook and a lot in the social medias. People are like, oh, if they're closed, just run it. That's not good advice.
No, Arizona.
Because it's not that person that's going to get the ticket if you get pulled over.
Right. So watch our Arizona permit, though. You don't want to take bad advice on Arizona about taking a picture at the door. If it's closed, just go through. It could be bad.
Right.
So,
the other ones that we were hearing a lot so far this winter is, oh, it's just a little bit of snow, drive on. Good advice, bad advice, take it as you like. To us, it's safe if we feel it's safe. If we're sliding and slipping and we don't feel it safe, then we're going to pull over. And anybody can say, oh, you're not a real trucker, or man up and power through. No, just be safe for yourself.
I don't understand why anybody, if it's snowstorm, you got 3 inches of fresh snow on the ground, you're sliding, and you post on Facebook, hey, I'm going to shut it down, I'm going to be safe. And then you always get some people going, oh, just send it. Man up, get your big girl panties on, whatever. I'm thinking, why are these people telling someone else their abilities on the safeness? And it's funny because the real truckers will jump in there going, hey, you know what? That's your rig. That's your equipment you're responsible for. And if you can't get both of them to your destination, you're probably going to be out of work.
Absolutely. And you know what? This goes all the way back to last summer when I started driving. There was many times that we had to shut it down. Tom felt comfortable. He was good to go. I wasn't.
Right.
And if I wasn't comfortable, I'm going to be even more tense behind the wheel. So therefore, it's time to shut down.
I had to shut down because of her.
Yes.
But you know what? It was probably the right thing. Another thing we see is where people will tell people, take off your DOT numbers, your magnetics, or your window hangers. We just did a video on window hangers. Again, those DOT officers, when they come up on that car, if you don't think they see that nice transporter plate on the back of your trailer, are those mud flaps, the hitches, everything. Your front windows aren't tinted and your back windows are. Better yet, when you take off the magnetic you didn't wipe down and you see a nice little rectangle where your magnetic was, so you're no longer a transporter. No, that's bad advice. That's, again, I call it like a DUI, and we call it the high turnover.
Yeah.
You don't really see, no one runs out saying, I got de-leased because I was stupid and took off my DOT numbers and I got pulled over, got a violation. Company says, well, that's an automatic de-lease.
Yes.
Automatic de-lease. And you don't see those people. And you gotta ask yourself, why? If these people are so successful in giving such great valued advice, why are their orientations with 8 to 20 new drivers 3 to 4 days a week at every single company? Not just one, like
all of them.
Every company.
Because that's how high the turnover is, and a lot of it is because of stupid reasons. The other one I hear a lot too is people are like, oh, I don't do my logs until the end of the night. Well, guess what? You get pulled in for an inspection. That's what they ask for.
It may not be the first thing they ask for. We're gonna do, some people have asked because I just got my second level 1 inspection after almost 2 years. It was kind of comical. I kind of pissed off the guy. But yeah, they're gonna ask for that probably at the very end, because if they're gonna get you, it's gonna be on your logbooks, because you're hauling new equipment and you're probably pretty much already set up. They know you're an easy inspection, so they're gonna just wait to get to the logbook at the very end. So make sure the logbooks are. And
speaking of that, we were notified too that they were doing pop-up inspections the other day on I-65 right before you exit Indiana.
Going into Kentucky.
Yes, which is a huge route for all of us.
Yeah, we've never seen any DOTs there, let alone any RV transporters pulled over. And just the other day on Facebook, all of a sudden we started seeing people saying, yeah, they're there. Yeah, oh yeah, I got pulled over. So we got recently got pulled over in Missouri, and Arizona and New Mexico.
Oh, Arizona. Even yesterday, we came back through Arizona yesterday, and it was in New Mexico, and it was just insane.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say at least everywhere. 15 to 20 DOTs pulling over truck after truck after truck. They get done with one, they go to the center divider, and as you're coming past them, they're grabbing another truck, and just bam, 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 bam. So you just don't want to be that guy. Because a lot of companies, if you get violation on your logbook, that's an automatic de-lease.
Yes. So basically what we're telling you, if somebody tells you something and it just doesn't sound right, definitely check with your company, check in your handbook, or just go with your gut instinct. If it doesn't sound right, it may not be right for you.
Yeah, just trust your gut. Do the path of what you think is right, and if you don't know, like Bunny said, call your company. But when someone's so aggressively promoting doing something you obviously know is just wrong, don't repeat it, please. Don't help other drivers get de-leased. If you're one of the people, really, you gotta stop, because these people need these jobs to pay their bills, and if they're listening to bad advice, which may not be bad, or the other thing I hear is, I've never had a problem. Got lucky.
It only takes one time.
It only takes one time. You know, someone says, I go through Arizona all the time, and I come down a back way where there's no scales. Doesn't matter. We asked Arizona. Again, watch that video. We're going to be doing that video probably next.
Wells, Nevada. They're another one that requires permits. Wells, Nevada sits there. I think that the whole town is run on
permits.
And they pull right over after another, after another,
They got
after
two
another
of them that just bunny hop each other. And then they hop over the freeway and bunny hop back.
And the only thing they ask for is your logs and your permits.
They're not even doing an inspection.
Nope.
So, bad advice. Again, we're not mom and dad. We do our videos to help people succeed. Hopefully, this video will help you succeed. We've seen people try to doctor up their trailers. I mean, okay, it's not bad advice. I thought it was actually ingenious when we saw somebody putting a license plate frame around their transporter plate. We didn't notice if they took their DOT numbers off or not, but just the license plate frame may distract a DOT cop from seeing that transporter on there, and they might just buzz right past them. That's kind of ingenious.
When I start to see the person that puts their barbecue back there, or their bicycle, that's going to be ingenious.
That's going to be ingenious. So, because obviously if you got bicycles, barbecues, or anything else in the back of your truck, make sure it's strapped down. But then you're not so much, I mean, you're still a target, but you may be overlooked, especially when they're up on an overpass.
Right, yeah.
And they see you look like aunt and uncle coming back from the local camping
You mean
trip.
like Georgia?
Like Georgia, yeah, that would be pretty bad. But they all know the routes. They all know the routes that we take. We all go the same directions. I mean, if you work for Indiana, Horizon, Bennett, Transport US, Quality RV, we all go the same routes.
And you know what, that does bring up another point too, because in Wyoming we all have to have our permits to go through Wyoming too. At one point there was a bad accident. Ours wanted to route us through Yellowstone, and when I got up to get my permit, she said, oh no, that would be bad. She goes, one, it is a little bit sketchy going through there with the trailer. She goes, but two, you would not be getting a permit, and we pull over a lot on that route. And she goes, and that is a big fine.
Yep. So
you have to go through, if you don't have your Wyoming permits, you have to go through their point of entries that have them.
Occasionally we'll get asked, well, what are the fines? And you know, we don't know. We haven't gotten a fine.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. But we haven't gotten a fine, so we don't know what the fines are. We just know we don't want one.
No.
And we don't want you to get one.
No.
All right, so
that being said,
don't take bad advice.
No.
We're not your mom and dad.
No.
We don't care.
But we are going to laugh at you when you roll by.
We won't
not laugh at you, but we're like, oh, really?
Really, dude?
You're not a transporter.
Super trucker. Don't be a super trucker.
Don't.
All right, until next time.
We'll see you down the road.
We'll see you down the road.